Okay, good morning, guys. This is Simon with TrADenPERFORM Coaching. If you'll take a moment and read this important disclaimer and reminder for all traders and investors, the webinar is for educational purposes only and not a recommendation to buy or sell any particular financial instrument. Equities, futures, options, and currency trading have large potential rewards, but also large potential risks. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the futures and options markets. Do not trade money you cannot afford to lose. The website is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy or sell equities, futures, or options. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed in this channel. Past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Absolutely consult your registered financial advisor and your risk trading plan before ever investing or trading any financial instrument. Okay, let's get started here. So you will see if you take a look at any even remotely higher time frame that we started around 2 a.m. We've just been in trend down. So prepare your brain for today that trend down is certainly a possibility. Look for open drive lower, right? So let's just jump to the chart. So here's the deal, right? There's no point in predicting, oh, massive day up, massive day down, etc., because we don't know, right? We've gone up day after day after day. Here's the chart. Right, so the first thing that has to happen, this is overnight, right? This is yesterday. Yesterday doesn't count. This is yesterday overnight. This is Friday. So let's fix the chart up a little bit. So first, we will get rid of these levels. And do our usual deal. Okay, so I'm going to work off of Friday's volume point of control, so that's going to be over here. That's really the initial target down. If we get a downside move, that's really the initial target down. Next. Friday's low. Friday's high. Hold on one sec. Prior U.S. session all-time high right over here. I'll mark that off in red. Didn't mean to do that. Let's see if I can, whichever one I move. So this is Friday's value area high. Friday's value area low. If we can compact this up, there we go. We will see that we have unfair pricing here. And a huge area. So when you have such a big area of unfair pricing, it's the front and the back that are the most important areas there. This becomes Globex high. This is Globex low. I'm just doing that off the overnight session, right? So this becomes U.S. session all-time high. During the U.S. session, and now this becomes the all-time high. So two things to remember. First of all, when the market falls away from an all-time high, during a future session, it'll want to come back and take that out. But it does not mean that it has to be the same day or even the same week, but it will want to come back eventually during the U.S. session and set the high into the U.S. session, right? So I'm going to disregard all this right here, meaning overnight for Monday, overnight for Tuesday and Wednesday. I hate when they stick a holiday right in the middle of the week. And I'm going to focus and I said Friday, excuse me, I apologize. It's Thursday. This is Tuesday's levels, excuse me. So brain bleep there, but same idea, right? So two things. Unfair overnight pricing, we'll color that white. If it changes before the open, that's fine. Or gray. And then this is overnight unfair pricing. Again, we'll color that gray. It's white, but it comes out gray, right? So unfair, unfair. So the first step in looking at as to whether we're rolling up or down will be the break of the Globex low, right? That'll be the first sign that, hey, there's a problem, because we opened last night and we trended straight up. To me, there's already a problem, because if you take the 50-60 and you retrace it, so that's the 62 retrace, and whenever you go trend up and you're already back behind the 62 retrace and you've impulsed below it, which we clearly have, that is a sign that, to me, that's when that usually happens. If that was a US session, I would say we're probably going to close at the low on the lower right hand corner of what the low ends up being for today. So a little early in the day to say that, but that is not a sign of health when you see that. And you'll see, like in this trend here, over here, like when we ripped here, see how they could barely, even in the overnight session, as soon as we tagged to 32 and it continued, the fact, and you can see they tried to hold the 32 overnight and push below that 62 retrace. So I'm not willing to make any claims based on the overnight by itself, but it is trending down. You can see quite clearly that it's trending down on any time frame that you look at. So look at your 5-minute and your 15-minute to get a clue of when we stopped one timing to the downside. Support wise, I would expect a check up below the lows of 618, right, to garner some type of response. When you look at the bigger picture here, if you extend this out, here I'm going to erase this. I'm going to erase this. I think what most traders will be looking at would be this from the low. We'll draw that orange. So from the low to the high, getting behind this puts us between the 50-60 retrace right over here, and I do have a support level at 84 to 01, so somewhere between 2126 and 2083. That's where I would be looking for a potential response. This doesn't matter anymore. We can erase this. And you had single prints all the way down here if it really gets sloppy, but we'll really rely on the algos to tell us where the turns are coming from. Okay, so that's my 2 cents as far as the ES chart goes. I'll print this. So this should have and obviously you re-auction this whole area. If you trade between 19,903, most traders will look for, oh, the auction's been completed, move back up, right? So that being said, what are we actually looking for? Well, let me print this first. Hold on one second. Okay, hey guys, the audio and video in the room is all clear, right? Okay, good deal, good deal, good deal. Okay, so so that being said, we'll minimize this. I actually want to have this floating over here. Chart detach. Oh, I already have that. Great. You can just slide it right over here. Okay, so again, the trend down is in. What am I looking for today for the trade? So first of all, let's just go through the basics, right? You're looking for a purple bar to show up on your. So I'm just going through the most conservative setups. Everyone knows what the aggressive setups are, right? But I want a pink bar. I want a pink bar right before the turn if I'm looking for the most conservative of trades, and then I want price to get above that point of control, obviously, and I would like it at or beyond, preferably beyond the fourth channel, right? In a downtrend that does not, and then you look for the rest of the setup, and as you can see, in a downtrend that does not guarantee you a reversal, right? So in an uptrend, much more likely. So you'll see, right, once we go supernova, pink bar, point of control gets over, lift, and then you're just looking whether you're looking on the 15 tick or we're using the algos to figure out where to take the trade. That 2-bar combo, right? I'm going to go back a little bit further. So I'm looking for it with a combo, not simply exceeding it. I'm looking for some type of algo to tell me it has exceeded. The other part that I'm looking for is once it goes supernova, I know that purple bar shows exhaustion. I'm going to start going with the wave counts in the room again. You'll see me do that live. I'm not going to go through and explain it, but it will help us know when the larger extensions are coming through, and I've gotten rusty in that area. And then the other thing I wanted to show. So see the pink bars? So just keep in mind, the bars with the pink dots on it, especially on the contra trade, right? Once you get past the point of control of those bars and they're facing in the opposite way you want to trade, right? So you obviously want to trade from a perspective of, like, this is an impulse move. So if you're looking for exhaustion, for example, 1, 2, 3 to a high, pink bar, get past the point of control, roll down. Or if I'm looking for a move to the upside, right? Don't forget to look for these, especially when they're parallel to each other, like this and this. Right? See how once they're getting the point of control above, they're using this area as support and resistance? Like, those are some of the easier tells that we have. Or when it's pushing hard and it's gone hard to the upside. Once we clear this point of control, right? Like, look what's releasing. I just want y'all to remember to look what's releasing to the upside. And what's releasing is usually the pink bar to the upside is what's releasing past these. So there's no new algo there. The algo's been there the whole time. I just want people to be aware that when they see this, right? So pink dot star is still very important. When you're ripping to the upside, right? Getting a negative bar with a point of control underneath these bars becomes important. They show where the exhaustion is potentially taking place, and they keep you safe from shorting over and over again, right? When you're looking long, so if you're going to go, hey, where's the breakout going to occur, right? I'm going to draw that right there, right? So what does that end up doing if you use that as your support resistance? The market's not always going to make it mega easy, right? So the way they did that was they created a right shoulder, right? They did an apex trap, and then, left shoulder, apex trap, then right shoulder. And then the release off that right shoulder was getting beyond this point of control is what released and broke away. Again, that shouldn't be new to anybody. Everyone should be going, okay, I've seen that, I get it, no problem, right? Let's see what else I need to cover. This. So in coaching sessions, I've been covering this 15 tick layout, which I like very much, right? So I'll be calling trades. I have other algos off on my other screen that I'm not quite ready to put in the room. But what I want to point out, very, very importantly, okay, is when you see on your screen these dots that will appear. Let me get what is this coming from? 24 tick. There we go. So I'm going to show you. When you see these dots on the screen, they're variations on delta and volume thrust. Okay? So when you see those and you get a pink bar above them, this essentially becomes a 10-point stop. You're hoping it dips back in so you can add to the trade, but it becomes a 10-point stop. Blue dot over here, yellow. You want the yellow for the downside, pink for the upside, and you do not want it more than this being the second bar in alignment. I'm treating it as a scalp, but you'll be able to figure out how to turn it into a larger trade. So let me give you an example. See how I get this blue dot here and I go, oh, exhaustion, but I don't have the yellow dot, the yellow bar to go with it? No trade, right? So, and here you'll see an example because we went trend up, right? Here you'll see an example where we got the blue dot, we got the yellow. You had to scale faster, just stopped you. You do not want a point of control back above this bar. It's probably going to extend the other direction, particularly down low, right? So when I'm looking. Oh, also, I want this yellow bar. So everyone's going to be able to figure out where this yellow bar works all by itself, right? So everyone should have this 15 tick on their chart. Does anyone need me to tell them how to create that 15 tick before the open, please? Does anyone need me to tell them how to create that 15 tick chart? You will not have the yellow dots. You do have the no supply, no demand bars on there, and you will have the arrows on here as well. Although, there they are. You'll have the arrows, and you'll have the no supply, no demand bars. And if you get the arrow, by the way, if you get the arrow down, on the same bar, here, let me load enough days because it's just been too slow. We'll just throw a bunch of days on there. I'll sip some coffee while that loads. Okay. Arrow, then I'll show. Okay, here we go. When you get an arrow, okay, that's very strong. It's telling you the sell side, if it's to the downside, is overloading to the sell side versus the prior bar's buy side. Okay, so it's telling you they're going to push, right? You obviously want to align it with which way you think the market's going to go. But when you see this, and particularly this bar lines up with a no supply, no demand bar on the exact same bar, you want to be aggressive on it. So let me show you what I'm looking for. Well, we should have had at least one in here. There you go. So see that? Okay, so this, you got to be thinking scalp. Think like how Etta trades, right? You got to be thinking scalp. So a couple of things. See this arrow? They're overloaded. See this blue dot down? If you get blue dot down like this, and you get arrow up, that is a great, again, I'm going to talk scalp. You can turn it into a swing trade if you want to, right? See over here where I get the green dot down? That's step one, right? But now I need a no supply, no demand, or an arrow. Blue dot down, pink, no supply. These entries, this entry here is a 10-point stop. This entry here is a 10-point stop max. And then if you get a pink bar on the lift, so if you enter here, when you get this pink bar here, your stop shifts to 10 points or less below here. You just don't want to close behind that pink bar. So let me give you an example of that, okay? Your entries on this bar here, okay? Okay, there's your entry. Here's your pink bar. You can add on that trade, but your stop would originally be down here, which means you'd enter at roughly 77 to 67. Your stop now moves from 67 to 71, which is right here. And in actuality, your stop ended up just a tick off of that at 72. But now you have a entry at 77 against 72. It's a 5-point stop, which means your maximum favorable excursion from that entry ended up being 77 to 91, right? Which means you have 11, 12, 13 points on what ends up netting out to a 5-point risk or a 2-to-1 RR. Those are important numbers to keep grinding through your head, right? So the same thing here. When you enter here, blue dot down, pink bar up, 10-point stop. But once you get this second bar, right, now the stop goes from, let's see, so the original stop would have been 48. Now it's going to move from 48 to 52, right? It may not sound like a big difference, but those 4 points make a lot of difference. And then don't forget, when you get that pink bar on the shift up, right here, if you can dip back into this bar, right, your stop's not going to change. So it's 62 to 52. So this, for example, this one dips all the way back into 57, meaning you had a 59, meaning you had a 7-point stop on this trade at one point. And preferably if you can get all the way back, sometimes you end up with a 3 or 4 point trade. You can add into that, you're not going to move that stop. The close behind that bar ends that trade. And then you'll see quite often that leads to a larger than usual trade. So we're working very hard to get these distributed. Again, it's just as challenging as getting the arrows done. So it's taking some work, but we will get it. There's no question about it, and it'll be distributed to all members. I don't have anything else to add other than be leery of open drive lower. We're trending down off the open. Believe what your eyes see, right? Believe what your eyes see. I have no doubt someone will try to step in and run it up, but that wouldn't be unusual, right? In terms of econ, just really quick before we get our heads geared up here for the trade. We have Barkin speaking today. Let's see, let's start off. So Kashkari is speaking right now. Started at 7:45. No econ at 9 o'clock. Crude oil at 10 o'clock. All central times. Barkin speaks at market close. That might be good for a short squeeze for my last hour traders. But other than that, I don't have anything else to prep. Hold on one second. Oh, okay, got it. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. I don't see it. It's back there somewhere with all the wires. And good morning. Let's go have some fun. Let's go make some money. Let's see what we do on whether they drive it up or down. I'm taking it. I'm trading, but I'm going to see how they. We'll see how they do out of the gate. Okay, and we'll go from there. On the Globex low. Open drive lower. Get me out Arama. Everything is showing me trend down. Everything is showing me trend down. We're going right for the volume point of control. We're at value area high from Tuesday. NQ still positive 17 points, however. Everything I've got shows trend down. Everything. So everyone knows a reversal's coming in here, but man oh man. I do have my long indicator starting up, but I don't like that at 8:36 in the morning. You know. If I miss the reversal, I'm all right with that. Too many falling knives early in the morning. And no econ to help us with the cover. What did that look like? Purple bar, so past the purple bar. Sorry, I wasn't on my game there. Straight up, straight down, straight up. This is about where I'd expect it to get weak or start to look for reversals. Sorry about that. Look for a retest back up towards, here's your current resistance zone now. It'll be this. If you look on your 75-cent guys, you'll have it. But you'll see the 4x4s up here. So resistance is 55 to 60.50. Does everyone see that, or does anyone need help seeing that? It's above it. Let's break to the upside. Sorry, that's not much. Sure, I got this right. Okay. Yeah, correct. That would be your target back up whenever we get a resistance. If we get above that, that's would probably be an upside breakout. And you would look for a backside test of that if you got above it. We're in that 10-minute period where stops happen a lot. So put in some big downside numbers. You got to get above 39, then your resistance becomes 50, and then these areas should become support if they can get back above them. If 1 minute till 9 o'clock, again, no econ. And usually the day after a holiday day is kind of funky. They're trying to push really hard on this 2038, but just not a lot. Like someone pushed really hard down there, and they're defending on that 2034, 2039. You can see it. And it's also the 2031.50 is Friday's low. So like you've given back, yesterday's low. Here's what we're looking at. Look, here's the 18th, right? Here's the 19th. We're pushing into the volume pointing control from the 18th. Here's the single prints down here at 2160. This is value area high, value area low, and Tuesday's high. And that's where we're getting all this noise right in here. We filled the gap from the overnight close, right? And now I guess we see what we do. But remember, the danger point is going to be 2206 to 2168. Why? It's fair pricing, can get easily traveled through. Underneath 2168 in an ideal world is where we would look for the bigger reversals, and certainly below the low of the 18th. But that read up there where the sellers were coming in up at 2250 area, fantastic. Double pinks up there. You can see this blue dot, they pushed really hard and reversal down and roll down. It's really nice. I'm pretty relaxed, guys. This is trend down as it gets, and profit taking would be suspected. Mighty Night. And fair pricing. Free falling. No shock. Just let it go, guys. That's my suggestion. Just let it go. They'll reverse it when they're ready to reverse it. Trend down, guys. Hard trend down. Don't sit there and try to fight it. Let them freaking trash it. It's alright. Like, it really is. Like, well, we weren't due a down day somewhere in here. Like, it is trend day down. There's no question about it. It's what I was concerned about before the open. That's as trend day down as it gets. Just my suggestion is you leave it alone. I know I am. I'm literally hands off the mouse, or at least off the dome. They're just trashing it, and it should. We've gone up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of points. Straight line single prints down at 2150. If you're looking for a neighborhood to play in, I'm going to wait till I see some kind of response. I know not to fade hard trends down. I missed the glory, but I also missed the pain. Came right to 2152. Just barely missed the single prints. Or I missed marking them correctly, one of the two. Yeah, there's no question about that. I don't know why my domes get hung up when it does this, and it's only with rhythmic. It's not on my other systems. They're all fine. I don't understand. Right out of those single prints and say bye-bye. See that? Here's the single prints. Came right into them and attempted lift. That's just so many shorts are going to cover when you hit that. Like, it's a logical place to go. Y'all should have that marked off on your charts. If you need it marked, I'll put it on the 24 tick. Chart number 6, F5. Chart drawings. 6. There you go. Single prints. It's all the way down to 2128, just FYI. That blue arrow is usually a pretty good lift right there. Again, so let me reiterate. I'm pointing out where there's potential reversals for my aggressive traders. For my non-aggressive traders, we are in as trend day down as it gets, and you just want to wait. Does that make sense? Am I being clear enough? Because some people get confused, like, well, You talk about trend day down, but then you're pointing out the longs. Okay, so let me explain that. If you are very aggressive and can take the loss, woohoo, good to go. If you can't take the loss and you want to wait till they stop, wait for it to clear an apex impulse move up with a wave up off your 15, your 24, something, right? And a change in character. This is all straight down, right? This pitch is straight down. Wait till we trade above the orange area. Now, if you're like me, I'm like, okay, I'll look for some stuff on smaller volume, and that's good. So you've got to distinguish which one you are and who you are as a trader so you don't get murdered. Okay? That's the key important part, so you don't get murdered. I need my waves off the 15. Here's the 15 tick. No dominant wave. Like I would look at least for a dominant wave off of that. Tej, I need to look later. I don't want to lose my focus on such a hard down day and misguide the rim. So if you'll just DM me, I'll circle with you over lunchtime, but I'll get it done today for you. You won't get very many. Make sure you're on 3 days, data-wise. But yeah, I don't want to step in a pile of poo. Tasia, will you record your screen, please, so I can see what it's doing in real time, too? Just a brief snippet, like give me 20 or 30 minutes so I can just fast forward to if you can. Good. Okay, you're supposed to. That's good. I would look for the market to break out in the balance as opposed to trend day down. Let me clarify that. I would look for the market to break into balance as opposed to straight down, right? At some point this afternoon or after 10 o'clock, one of the two, we should break into a balanced type of market. That's what I meant to say. I apologize. We're obviously in trend down right now. Also look at your 5-minute charts, your 15-minute charts, and your 30-minute charts to see when we stop the one time into the downside. If we stay focused, we will pick up the edges, right? And we will get paid. Most importantly, I have not heard from a soul who took a drawdown this morning, right? Trying to find the long. These days, if you go look at your P&L where the rip is to the downside, right? If you avoid giving back on those days, right? The majority of the days are balance after that, and you pick up the pieces and you just pick up the chunks of change and you move along. If you insist on finding the reversal when it's just getting body slammed to the downside, can you do it? Yes. Is it likely you're going to take a bunch of stops? Yes. Top of the hour, you have IB high and IB low. Stats open now. Coming back to the Tuesday's volume point of control. We took out prior day's low and trapped back in. I missed that. I don't know if anyone else saw it, but I missed it for sure. Hey, Brian. No, Brian, that's fine. Will you DM me and I'll circle with you to make sure you have the right layout, please? Hey Siri, set an alarm for calling Brian at 4:15 p.m. please.
Done.
And climb, climb, climb. V-shape that baby. No one wants to miss out. And I find these days the hardest where we do that, but it makes sense. I don't necessarily like it, but it makes sense. I have it short now with a stop around 86. 76 against 86. I know it looks a little bit late there, but that's what I got. It's off another chart. Okay, see that blue dot followed by the yellow mark right there? That's a very good setup for a scalp. A very good setup for a scalp. Okay, and particularly on these, so the blue marks I can't send out yet. I'm working on it desperately hard. Okay, one sec. I'm working on it very hard to get them out, but when you see those blue marks, what they're telling you is they're pushing very hard on volume, on delta, or both. Okay, in this case it was both because there's a light blue and a dark blue there. Okay, and the yellow, the no supply, no demands, which are yellow on this chart that come off of them, set up very good scalps. Now, it's harder to set them up and get them to push for longer range trades. It obviously requires more strategizing, etc., etc. And I'm working hard to get them off. Same thing with if you get a yellow, this blue mark, and then you get the pink bar up above it. Okay, so you want to do two things. It's obviously most ideal if the yellow is right here, but what you want to do is get blue mark and then the first pink bar, and the stop is against the pink bar. Okay, so even if you go along the blue, as soon as you get the pink, your stop goes here, minus 10 points. So that's roughly 37, so 27 becomes your stop, or wherever this bar would get closed underneath. And that's hardest in the first half hour because of all the currents and cross currents, etc., etc. And if we look at the retrace on this, just so you have some, you should mark it off. So here's the 8:30 open, 8:30 swing high. So we are at the, roughly we're at the between the 382 and the 50 retrace, and the 62 retrace would also create a tweezer's top over there. And don't forget about your apex traps too, obviously depending on what you're trading, but this is the general area where you'd expect it off an impulse move lower to find resistance. Now we just need the setups, and you would need a larger chart to, you'll need the bigger charts to come up with a larger strategy, right? I guess this would be the best way to put it. And again, I think it's easiest overall if you just wait for the longs to set up, but most people want to trade both sides of the market, so I'm just going to, I'll be more aggressive longs after another pull down than I will be on the shorts. But I know exactly what I'm looking for. So see how it's getting over this yellow line? It simply can't close at 91.25. So you put your stop like at 91.50 on that. It simply can't close above. There's no exception to that, right? There's no exception to that in terms of okay, so I want to show you all this so you can see it in real time. Damn, you know what? Why is this chart setting up different than the other chart? I have two charts and these are supposed to be identical and they're giving different signals. F5. Exact same freaking chart. Here, let's do this. Chart. Duplicate chart. And damn, when I duplicate it, it's different even. It matches the other chart. And it's the same damn thing. How's that even possible? I just duplicated. That's all I did was duplicate the chart. F5. Okay, never mind. I'll just go back to it. But what you wanted on this, what you wanted was this chart, this bar. Okay, so you didn't have the signal. You didn't have the signal up here on this, but all else being equal. So I have another algo that I'm working on that I don't want to introduce. It's going to confuse the shit out of everybody until I get it down. Like work out these little details here. But basically, let's pretend there was an algo up right here and you got this yellow bar. So from here, okay, so from this 81 right here where this bar closed, where is TC1? There we go. There you go. You wanted a 91 stop. So from this 81, you did not want it to go more than 10 points against you from here to get the roll to the downside. So I had an algo on the other one. I'm not going to explain it right now because I'm afraid it will mess up a lot of stuff. Okay. I'm afraid it'll cause confusion in the room, and we've done a good job to this point of the day just not getting crushed on open drive lower or on the swing back up. But basically what I'm saying is this was an apex trap, and off this yellow bar you didn't want it to go. If you want to contain your stop, right? See how you had this should have rolled. It did. Stopped out, trapped back in, yellow bar, right? And that yellow bar, that 91.25 should hold, right? And the idea is that I'm pushing towards is to set up your swing trades so that your stops are uber tight for those who can handle that tight entering and exiting. Conceptually, I want people who enter and have it uber tight, right? And then you can get your risk off with a relatively cheap stop. So like, for example, this would have stopped, right? But before it stopped, you got an opportunity to enter like at 89.90, and it rolled back to 81, which means all your risk was off, and you could take a free shot to the downside there, hypothetically, right? So there's always problems when I plug in a new algo, and I'm working through those issues right now. I'll let you know as soon as it's ready to distribute. I'll have it out. I just got to get the pieces in. And again, up in this 96 to 2200 level, you're into the 50-60 retrace from the day's high, right? You've bounced. If you look at your waves off the 15, you will see we have not gotten a dominant wave up, right? It still is lifted, but we just have not at any point exceeded that. This is your first, actually I'll take it back. This is your first dominant wave up, but nowhere close to the down waves, right? And they're just pushing back up slowly and grinding it back in. But that's how you absorb or get buyers to get to become absorbed, right? And then eventually, hypothetically, they fail out of that, hypothetically. So I'm working on it very hard, guys. I really want to perfect it. So the first part that was very helpful, I made some changes to make it easier for me to identify when we're in trend day. That worked very nicely from the beginning. This morning I was able to guide through and go, hey, don't get run over on this crap, right? So now comes part two. How do we enter the trade without getting smoked in general? And how can we use and then for those who want to, how can we use leverage to really perfect our entries and exits? You have a potential head and shoulders here against 91, actually, just FYI. So you'd want your stop to be like 95. And see that blew up? I really wanted this yellow to show up either here or here for the roll to the downside. Just didn't, and that's okay. And now chop, chop, chop. Was the guidance helpful this morning, guys? Did it help in terms of getting perspective? Okay. Yeah, I agree with it, Randy. I agree. The only thing you have to keep off of is going on tilt in that scenario. It's the only thing you have to hold off of. And for some people, the quick stops trigger them into tilt. So you have to be really clear on what you're looking for, and that's why I'm not introducing that other chart yet. It's just not ready. It's close. It's just not ready. It's close, but it's just not 100% there. I'm working on it. Should be bumping into difficulty up in this area. Oh, hey Nate, I got your message. Sorry, man. I'll message you right now. Sorry. I apologize. I forgot to respond. I meant to, and then I'm going to blame it on my 7-year-olds. all the way back to the 62 retrace. Going all the way back to 2034, where all the volume is. Unreal. Nice move. That first time into 2034 area should reject. Short 10 against 17, it's experimental trade. Short 22.10 against 22.17. It's a scalp. Back to 21.98. Don't know if it'll work. flat 03, 03 quarter, whatever the fill was, is just a scalp. We're at that 62 retrace up here, so you would expect exhaustion somewhere in here. Unless they're just going to V-shape it all the way back up, which would be sucky, but could happen. 2034 is where all the large prints were earlier off your 4x4 75-cent chart. That would be a natural target up. I'm sure that brutalized people. When we get those V shapes like that, they just go onto the pain train. have that as short. 18 against 24. $18 against $24.50. I'm looking for 5 to 10 points. So 13. So it's 6. So you can just go for one. It's a scalp. Okay. $13's my first scale. No fill yet. Filled 13. Or you can take the whole thing off. It's supposed to be a tight stop, right? So your choices now, you got 5 or 6 points, whatever. You know, the math in my head's bad, right? But you're either applying it to the stop, or you're taking the trade out as a scalp, or you're trying to combine it into, oh, I think we're rolling down from here, I'll push my trailer. You have to make that decision in real time as to how you want to handle that. Ha! Like a weasel than a master of the universe. I would expect 2191 to 2181 to provide a scalpable trade, if not a full rotation out of there, back up to 2038 so far. was a nice little short up there, wasn't it, guys? That's how you turn that from a scalp into a swing. Does that make sense how I'm describing that? I'll show you what the screen will eventually look like, but right now it's a mess. Eventually it'll look like that. And that's how I know that they're going to push. When I get the arrow and on the same no supply, no demand bar. The trick is going to be whether it's a scalp or a swing. And a lot of stuff plays into that. But I'll get it narrowed down. Everyone will have it. It's just going to take me a little while to put all the pieces together. I will put all the pieces together. That's better. I'll have the long at 98.50 if it prints. Oh, went away. Too bad, I thought I had it. Long, well, no, it disappeared again. Thought I had it. Oh, right into where I thought we would have support, by the way. This is between 90 and 81. It has to hold the 81. But it should respond out of here. Those were the 4x4 prints from earlier. Okay, if you'll look on your chart back to the left, you'll see them. Okay, 4x4 prints from earlier. Okay, I had them marked off on my 75-cent chart. And that's why I thought, doesn't have to stop there, but usually we get a response out of that area, right? And that's why I'm looking at that area going, oh, yes, I would expect a response out of here, right? So now what I want is a no supply, no demand to print out of here, right? But I would expect a response out of this, and this is how I've been coaching it. And now your resistance, by the way, it's tiny, it's not as strong as what was above, is here. Oh no, we don't have a 4x4. It's weak resistance right here. It's weak. They're at 2012 to 2017, let's call it. Okay, because it wasn't 4x4. It was vertical but not horizontal. A lot of pushing down in here. Like I said, that's going to be support. That's going to be support from earlier. And that's why they're having a hard time breaking it. Straight away. So what you saw there was absorption pushing down in here, right? On the first time sellers, the late sellers were getting absorbed. And the reason that was happening was because on this chart over here, you had, see these right here, stacked 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm probably off one. I don't know why I was off one, but it's actually this here. This guy pushed down pretty hard, so I was probably just moving fast. So now we're pushing 89 to 81, right? And they're pushing back into it. So this guy pushed down, right? So what's he naturally going to do? He'd do the same thing I would do and you would do. If I shorted here, went all the way up here, and it came back in to let me out, I may not have the power to reverse it up and keep it trucking in a straight line, but I'm sure as hell going to buy some to get me out flat. I was wrong. Like, no one would have committed the number of contracts they committed here, right? No one would have committed the number of contracts they committed there if they didn't think it was going lower. Like, no one goes, well, I'll sell 2,000 contracts and think it's going to go another 30 points against me. No one does that. He would have done it up here, right? So now the next thing we got to find out is he going to hold it or is he going to let it get blown out, right? And that's the part that we don't know. I'm going to say that again. That's the part we don't know, right? But we're working on it, and, we'll just see what they do from there. And what am I waiting for? What I'd like to see is one of these little up arrows that are white on a pink bar, right? So like this, limit 98.75. Okay, and I'll add on the push back in. Now 98 against 88 with a push back in. Okay, 98 against 88, and now I'm looking for a push back in. So see here where it's here? I was going to put that whole stop at 88, right? And I'm stopped. And I'm all right with that. That's exactly how that should go. That's exactly how that should go, right? I'm going to say that again. That's exactly how that should go, okay? That's exactly what I want. The only mistake I made there, sorry, and I forgot, is I don't want it out of consolidation. I apologize. So that was my mistake. I want it when it's like this. And I got over focused. So that's part of the difficulty with the ADD thing. But I want it to look like this, not like this where it's coming out of consolidation. So that's where I made my mistake. Okay. So I want it to V, basically. That's where it's the strongest. And then I'm just trailing down, right? I'm just trailing down on these. But if you look through the day, it worked exceptionally well. So here, 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 and I'm not taking them out of the top of that channel. Too late for me. I want it on the first or second. And then on the way down, right? So the real question is on the way down. Here, stop, and that's it. So that's why I'm so interested in that particular trade. So as soon as I can fix this chart so I can distribute it to everybody, I will have it there. It is a scalping chart, make no mistake. It is a scalping chart, nothing more, nothing less. but it is a very good scalping chart. And it's probably going to take me 1 to 2 weeks to have that prepared, by the way. Okay? 1 to 2 weeks. I'll be going to lunch here in a couple of minutes. I did okay, not phenomenal, but I did okay this morning, scalping through the chart to make sure that it works. And I feel pretty good about letting people get their hands on it. Now just for the next step. I'm gonna relax for a few minutes. Was any critique or area I could have done better in this morning, guys? Improvement, no improvement, etc., etc. I thought this is a good ad. I really like it. I just need to push a little bit harder on it. This is your target right now, right into this 2016 area. So hey guys, what I think I'm going to do, because it's working really well, is I'm going to throw this chart up on the screen unless anyone has any objections so they can watch it in the afternoon. I don't want you to trade it. I just want you to watch it and see if you have any challenges with it. Hold on a second. Let me do something here real quick. Because it's just working really, really well. It's giving good scalps. And at the end of the day, I was going to hold off, but chart, duplicate chart, analysis. Analysis. Let me clean this, see if I can clean it up a little bit. I'm going to remove the Keltner channel off of it. I'm just trying to clean it up so y'all can see it. I'll work on the rest later. Paid no attention to the moving averages. Does anyone have an objection to that? To me leaving that up there? This damn chart just, it's unbelievable. They don't match when I duplicate it. Just crazy. That's okay. Close enough. But that's pretty damn cool, isn't it? The chart, amazing. It's the same freaking chart and it just does not match. So that may be a problem too. I'll have to figure it out. Oh, I missed it. Right there. This is resistance now. It's the exact same place where there was support before. Let me do this really quick. Chart number 1. 5 chart runs. Well, for some reason it's not copying it, but it was there. Out of consolidation, you don't want the arrow. You want the arrow on the turn combined with the pink or yellow, right? Even if it's down here, you want it like this, not like this. This is chop suey. You don't want to get chopped like this. You want to get it like this. What I don't know is why the two charts aren't printing. It's the identical chart. I literally just duped it. They don't print it the same way. So that's a head scratcher too. Like below value area low. Okay, thank you, Ron. I'll go work on it. Hey. No, I'm done. I'm just working on stuff. That's fine. Are they done playing? Oh, okay. So have they had lunch yet? Yeah, I can feed them lunch. Yeah. Yeah, hold on a second here. Yeah, I'm here. You're